This work session regular meeting of the Township Council is called to order. Madam Clerk.
In accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice of this work session regular meeting of the Franklin Township Council was made as required, indicating that this meeting would take place at the Municipal Building at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, February 25, 2025.
We could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation, which I will initiate. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So it was back in 2016 that the council first stood up and took a pledge to stand for the other. I thought it would be time to repeat it, and those of you who wish to can join in with us. And we were introduced to this by Dr. Karazi, so I thought he might lead us in it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and good evening, everyone. As Mr. Mayor said, 2016, this council took this pledge, and not only this council, the following year, all the students in Franklin Township, and in many occasions, many of the people have taken this pledge. We pride ourselves because we are the second most diverse community in New Jersey, and you can look around it and you'll see who we are. So I'd like to read this, and please just read it together. While interacting with members of my own faith or ethnic community or with others, if I hear hateful or derogatory comments from anyone about members of any other community, I pledge to stand up for the other and challenge bigotry in any form. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, it's time to call the roll.
Councilman Embarrasson?
Here.
Councilwoman Francois? Here. Councilman Karazi?
Here.
Mayor Kramer?
Here.
Councilman Onijaka? Here. Councilmember Potosnik?
Present.
Deputy Mayor Udine? Here. Councilman Vasanella? Here. Councilman Wright?
Here.
So a little announcement to excuse myself. I'm usually like 15 or 20 minutes early. I came only 5 minutes early today because I was getting my new hearing aids fixed or fitted, and things sound different to me. So if I act a little strange tonight, it's because I'm trying to cope with getting used to them. Next item is item number 5, commendations and proclamations. Copies of the agenda are up near the clerk. First item, swearing in of police officers. I'll leave it to the director.
No. Some sort of power.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I am the Public Safety Director, Corvella Mayweather. Tonight, we will have the swearing in for our newly hired officers, our newly promoted sergeants, lieutenants, and captains. I will say it's been almost 5 years, it'll be 5 years in April that I have been the Public Safety Director. And it was with pleasure and amazement today when the officer in charge gave me these numbers. I didn't even realize it. In the 5 years that I've been here, I've hired 49 officers. That's a lot of officers. Due to retirements and promotions, we often have to fill the ranks. Also, amazingly, 27 of our 31 supervisors have been promoted during my tenure. So I am very proud of the men and women of this department. I thank the council and the mayor and the town manager for allowing us to create a fair and equitable process for which promotions can happen throughout our department. So join me in celebrating that. First, I'd like to do the officers. First, Officer Matthew George. He was hired by Franklin Police Department July 2024, and he currently works midnights and patrol. Officer George, when I call your name, come forward. I'm sorry. Officer Deshaun Jones was hired October 2023. He currently works midnight patrols. Officer Patel, hired 2024, January, currently works midnight patrol. Officer Rodriguez, hired January 2024. He currently also works midnight patrol. Officer Peterson, hired October 2023, currently works day shift. Officer Kasem is ill. He's not here tonight. He was hired June 2024, currently is doing field training, midnight shift patrol. Officer Solomon, hired June 2024, currently also works, he's doing his field training, day shift patrol. Okay. Look, Mayor, don't feel so bad. I'm reading without my glasses. Okay, so we'll swear in the officers at once, and then we'll do the other ranks. You need the mic? Should have just did that.
Okay, everybody raise your right hand.
Here's my hand.
No, right here. Okay. Okay. All right. Repeat after me. Okay. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of police officer of the Franklin Township Police Department according to the best of my ability, so help me God. Congratulations.
All right, next we'll have the sergeants. Sergeant Kevin Friziola, 19 years in law enforcement, 11 in Franklin Police Department, currently assigned to patrol afternoon shift. Sergeant Manuel Rios, 19 years law enforcement, 17 years in Franklin, currently assigned to day shift patrol. Sergeant Robert Young, 17 years, Franklin Police Department, currently assigned to Professional Services Division.
Okay. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people. And that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of sergeant of the Franklin Township Police Department according to the best of my ability, so help me God. Congratulations.
Next, we'll have the lieutenant, Lieutenant Stacy Grant. Stacy has been with Franklin Police Department 24 years. She is now the lieutenant that oversees afternoon patrol, and she also supervises telecommunications, which is our dispatchers. Lieutenant George Habish, 13 years in law enforcement, 12 with Franklin Police Department. Currently serves as a lieutenant overseeing midnight shift patrol. Lieutenant Trevor Wilson, 30, I'm sorry.
I knew she was going to do it to you, Trevor.
No, that was a mistake, I'm sorry. 26 years in law enforcement. 22 years of those have been in Franklin. And Lieutenant Wilson oversees professional services division. And I often get my Wilsons confused because I have a Lieutenant Wilson, I have a Captain Wilson, and sadly we had a Detective Wilson that passed, but yes, all right.
I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of lieutenant of the Franklin Township Police Department according to the best of my ability, so help me God. Congratulations.
And I'd like to say that Lieutenant Grant is the next highest ranking female in the department. I don't know if she realizes that. And last but not least, captains. No? Oh, okay. All right, I'm sorry. Captain Brandon Domator, 18 years, Franklin Police Department. Currently serves as the captain in charge of our investigations division. Captain Vincent Wilson, 20 years in law enforcement, 18 years Franklin Township Police Department, currently in charge of our professional services division. Okay, I need to go that way. Okay, and wait, I'm gonna stand on the other side this time. Nobody's touching the Bible.
Okay. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people, that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of captain of the Franklin Township Police Department according to the best of my ability, so help me God. Congratulations.
That's okay. And I'd just like to say, Captain Lloyd Fredericks, he is the newly appointed officer in charge. He was already sworn in. I was losing it just now. I was like, why isn't your name on this list? But he is our newly appointed officer in charge. We do not have a chief, so he serves in that role for me, basically. All right, Chief. Mayor?
I don't know if the television cameras can show the back wall or not, but there's a sea of blue there. We are all in the safest room in the state right now. And that's the way I feel every night, every day with this incredible police force that the director has led, that you have followed and done remarkable things, and sometimes not done things. That's important too. Shown restraint when we needed to, and showed rigidity when that was needed to as well. So we're very proud of you. I sleep safely or soundly because I know I'm safe with you around. Please keep up the good work. Next, we have a proclamation by Councilwoman Udine. We'll take a pause here as people wisely leave and not have to watch this meeting.
Thank you for taking care of us.
Thank you.
Charles, were you public safety? Yes, public safety. Yes. I had a level appointment. Yeah.
I said wisely leaving.
Yeah.
We're going to say that again? The meeting?
Public safety.
Oh, okay. No,
You're not
problem.
on.
No.
Just want to make sure.
I missed you.
Thank you.
Quieter. Start, right? We're good? We're good.
I'm going to do the resolution.
Hello? So this proclamation is for the Mother Language Day. Whereas language is a fundamental means of communication, culture, identity, and heritage for all people around the world. And whereas every language carries with its unique expressions, histories, and traditions of its speakers, reflecting their connection to the world and to one another. And whereas the International Mother Language Day, observed annually on February 21st, calls for the preservation and promotion of linguistic diversity, the revelation of endangered languages, and the affirmation of the importance of mother languages in empowering individuals and communities. And whereas more than 7,000 languages are spoken across the globe, and yet many are at extension jeopardizing the culture and intellectual richness they embody. And now, therefore, we, Deputy Mayor Sheepa Udine and Mayor Philip Kramer, do hereby proclaim February 21st, 2025 as International Mother Language Day and encourage all individuals, organizations, communities, and governments to promote linguistic diversity, preserve endangered languages, and ensure the right to education in one's mother language. Let us embrace our shared humanity through the richness of our languages, fostering a world where every language thrives and every voice is heard. I believe I have a couple organizations here. I think Deny America is here as well that will accept this proclamation. I have two of them. I think one is for right? Okay. You're welcome. I think Mayor once mentioned that we have about 60 plus languages. There's 60 plus languages in Franklin Township. And so we are honored to celebrate this and make sure that we recognize International Mother Language Day. Just the past weekend, we had a program done at the library for our community by the America organization, which had about 6 or 7 of our students from Samson G. Smith and Franklin High School across other schools that came in and they spoke in their mother language tongue, which was really nice to hear the students that are so small picking up languages and being able to kind of speak it and also translate it at the same time in English. So thank you for hosting that event and bringing that awareness in the library for our community.
Okay,
thank you.
You want to take a picture, please?
Oh.
So moved.
Second.
Sorry. Time to open to the public. Do we have a motion to open?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion is carried. We're open to the public. please come to the mic and speak about anything regarding government. You have 5 minutes. No yielding of time. May only come up once. Please state your name and address.
Yes, good evening. My name is Robert Scarpane, and I live at 209 Onasuka Court. I want to thank the council for holding a vote on a resolution to support the New Jersey Climate Superfund Act. Under this act, large carbon polluters will pay for the mess that they have made. The money will fund remediation and adaptation projects in municipalities such as Franklin Township. The cost of climate change is climbing yearly. Action is needed now. I support passing the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Bernadette Marr, 4 Norris Road, here in Somerset. I want to again thank the council for considering Resolution 25-093 this evening. This resolution is in support of the New Jersey Climate Superfund Act. This act will help to ensure that residents of our municipality and state are not unfairly penalized for the actions of the large fossil fuel companies. Thank you.
Good evening, Linda Powell, 22 Buffer Drive. I also want to thank you for considering this municipal resolution to support this New Jersey Climate Superfund Act, S 3545 and A 4696. Last meeting, I also mentioned the Immigrant Trust Act, which is basically to limit the resources in New Jersey being used by the federal government, ICE, and Customs and Border Protection, and not using our resources and turning the state into massive detention centers. And I want to publicly thank our Assemblyman Joe Danielson, who is co-sponsors of both of these bills in the Assembly. So I was very happy to hear that. And I also want to thank this council in general. Some of you have been here for as long as I've been coming to meetings. I would say in the last 10 years, there's nothing that I'm aware of that's come before you that would benefit our residents or protect the health and safety of the residents that you haven't supported. And I'm grateful for your support. Thank you.
Carol Peterson, 12 Lake Avenue in Somerset, New Jersey. I'm here representing residents from Spring, Hill, and Lake. Our goal is, I have contacted Trenton. There is no idling in any private or public space in the state of New Jersey, other than the amount of time allocated for school buses, trucks getting gas, etc., 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 because you can look it up. We are sick and tired of being awakened every night, not once, not twice, sometimes for 4 or 5 hours as trucks are sitting because they have no place to go. Neighbors are also guilty because I guess if their truck doesn't start the next day, they're not going to be going anywhere. And all it would take would be for somebody, and they're not expensive because they have them at the municipal building, the public service building, and probably down on 27 where the school board is located, is a no idling sign. You're discussing tonight various things about pollution. And we suggest that you start looking at pollution from the idling trucks. We don't know if they're smart Alex or what they are, but I can tell you this much. Last night again, they hit the mailbox. They're vandalizing my house, I guess because I become the spokesman for the neighborhood. We are now having to replace, because the company does not exist anymore, a back door to our deck. that's going to have to be made of metal with a metal frame around it that's going to cost us $4,000. I can assure you that's a lot of money. I can't prove who's doing it, but they're now stealing the cameras. They vandalized the mailbox. I've had cinders thrown up against my front windows. And I think it's time that you look into a neighbor who's moved in at 10 Lake. And if you haven't been there and seen it, go look. And you find little old ladies for grass and flowers, and you can't find them. They also have sitting in the backyard 5 or 6 ladders out where somebody can get to them. They have a roll-around ladder where somebody can get to it. They have 2 or 3 ladders in the front yard. And I think that the goal is going to be 2. Find out what's going on over there and stop the idling, and that'll help stop the air pollution that everybody's so concerned with, except in our neighborhood. And when you're awake and coughing and you can't get your breath, it's all because of whatever they're doing and with their trucks. 3 of the trucks, I should say one's a car, doesn't even move. It's sitting up on cement blocks, no wheels on it. So it's time to clean up for the gander what you've done for the goose. And she only had grass, a few weeds now and then, and her flowers. She, of course, is deceased, but since these people have moved in, they have been wrecking the community for everybody. And I know there's certain friends here. So take a good look. Think about living beside them. Would you want that? And would you want idling trucks? You can't even lay down in the afternoon to try to get a nap that you don't have somebody coming by, sitting and idling. And sometimes at night, they're idling so much, it shakes your bed. So you got the message? I hope so, loud and clear, because we've lived here almost 47 years and never had problems until March last year. Thank you very much.
So if you're going to come up together, you get a total of 5 minutes. Not, if you want to come up separately, you get 5 minutes each.
Yes, Mayor.
Okay.
The microphone up. Not, yeah, just hold on. That's flexible. There you go. Put it up near your mouth. There.
All right. Good evening. Hello, everybody. My name is Marcel Rodriguez. I'm from 657 Hamilton Street in Somerset, New Jersey. Just want to say God bless everybody and good evening. We are We Shop CBD. We are originally a health and wellness store. Okay. We went and submitted an application with the CRC for a dispensary license. At this time, currently, we're having issues with the CRC because they state that we need an approval from Township based on the ordinance and laws that were passed in November of 2024. We no longer would qualify for our dispensary license if we don't have Township approval. We're going to, we are trying to stay focused on our health and wellness part of things. We're trying to stay focused on our health and wellness part of things in our store. We're looking to work with the council and the township to see if we can resolve our licensing issue and be allowed to submit for our cannabis license. Again, we are a wellness store. We focus on products for the community at a reasonable price. All of our products could be purchased online, could be purchased through vendors. We go to legal vendor events to purchase our products and bring them to the community. We bring a affordable product to our township, unlike the dispensaries who are astronomically expensive to a lot of the folks in our community. We find an alternative health and wellness product that can help them at a reasonable price. We've been here since 2020. June 2020, we opened our doors. We've been, the township asked for us to come here and show off our cannabis products and our wellness products because they wanted an alternative option. We gave that to the township. We submitted for the CRC. The township gave us a letter stating that they wanted to support our location for a cannabis store. We've had tons of businesses move into our town because of us. You know, they've come to our store and seen how we've worked with the community and helped the community, and they've taken advantage of that, and now they've settled in, put themselves into town, got their licenses through the CRC because they put their money in. You know, I am not some rich guy. It's just me. Okay, I don't have no huge company backing. It's just me and my staff working with the community because we're from this community. So because we're from this community, people can connect with us a lot better than a lot of the dispensaries in the area. Because we care more about health and wellness products and natural products and organic products, we connect a lot better with the community than a lot of these dispensaries do. And this is our store manager and one of our partners for the business, my partner. And we are just coming here to ask you guys to understand we are here to do the right thing for our community. We were first to apply for this dispensary license. We put in our application, we put in our paperwork. We let the township know what we came here to do. So all I'm asking is if you guys can think about changing that ordinance and allowing a company that was already in the application process, that had already submitted all their paperwork, and you guys can allow us to open as a dispensary, not just a health and wellness store. That's all. If you guys have any questions, I know a lot of you guys have our information. Please email us, contact us, and we'll wait for an answer. All right? Thank you, guys. God bless.
Good evening, Council. Doc Cunningham, 11 Stout Court, Somerset. Great to be with you again. Two quick things, and then I'll share some additional information. First, I want to commend you guys for providing that Know Your Rights link that was made available on the website. As you all know, I'm an immigrant, and so obviously I'm from an immigrant family, and I thought that was important for me to share with my family, and I think it was well received, so I didn't want to keep all the credit to myself. I wanted to make sure I acknowledge that here. Secondly, I found out that I missed the recognition you guys gave to Captain Hebon last meeting, so I want to add my voice and my hand clapped to the 27 years of service he provided to the township. I've lived in Franklin Township for 30 plus years, and I have observed quite a bit over that period of time. I wouldn't say I know a lot of men in blue, but from my observation of Captain Hebon, he certainly strikes me as someone who's very civic-minded. I often think about when you hear stories of police-involved incidents across the country, I often think about the fact that one skill cannot be tied to the tool that you wear on your waist or the stripes that appear on your sleeve, but it has a lot to do with what's on the inside, and I think Captain Hebon has a heart for service. So I just wanted, again, to add my voice and my hand clap to the recognition you guys provided it. Now, I thought it was important to share that because I'm grateful to have Captain Hebon's advice and allyship in something some of you are already aware of that we formed recently in the township called the Hometown Civic Leaders Coalition. And that name takes a page from Dr. King's SCLC, Southern Christian Leadership Conference. And as you may know, SCLC was started back in '57 as a way to bring more focus and synergy around the issues of the time, around the frustrations and concerns that citizens had at that time. And so it is in that vein that the HCLC, the Hometown Civic Leaders Coalition, was formed, and Captain Hebon has agreed to support and provide advice and allyship in that effort. Lastly, let me say this before my time runs out. One of the reasons it's important to begin a coalition like that is because I'm sure I'm not breaking news to you guys that we're living in some interesting times. And the times we're living in seem to align with something Dr. King said back in '68, when he says the nation is in trouble. There's a lot of confusion around. And I think some of what we're experiencing is consistent with those words. And so one of the things I'm hoping that we, starting right here in Franklin Township, might be able to do is closely tied to why we exist. We exist because of the Township Act of 1798, which formally incorporated 100+ townships across 13 counties in the state, recognizing everyday citizens who are committed to handling their public affairs. And so with that in mind, one of the things we're looking to do is to leverage that history in a way that it demonstrates what we call civics in action. And maybe at another time I'll be able to share with you something from American history and one of the constitutional amendments and how that came to be, that started with one regular citizen who had an idea that he wrote about in a college project. He got a bad grade on that college project, and he was frustrated by that bad grade. And to make a long story short, he decided to put civics in action, and because of those steps, that the 27th Amendment now exists. And I believe there's a lot to learn from his example. And as I often share with folks, I'm not a celebrity. I'm not a public official. I'm not a corporate executive. I'm not a cable media personality. I'm a regular citizen in Franklin Township over 30+ years. And I'm hoping that you guys will be able to join us in this effort. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Well, hello there, gang. How you doing, John? How you doing, Carl? Mr. Mayor? What up, y'all? See, when you got God in your heart, man, it's nice to be happy. I know, by the way, I'm coming to you, too. You know, don't even put your hand down on your thing. Johnny's Tips, 25 Parkside. Is that the lady? Is that the lady lawyer for you guys? Is that the lady lawyer?
She's a lady and she is a lawyer.
I know she's a lady. I didn't know she was a lawyer, not sir. I'm well aware of the ladies.
I'm a lawyer.
Miss Lawyer, I'm making an official demand, public demand from the public from the Fourth Ward citizens, a demand to the township government that the building at 429 Lewis Street be given, the top floor be given to the Community Action Agency, which is in Somerset, New Jersey. The Somerset Community Action Program. I don't know where the county is at now, but the Somerset Community Action Program, which I'm a part of. I make an official demand that they give the top floor of that building to the citizens in which that building is being built on, and which the ground is built on. The building that building is built on, yeah, I know it can't happen, but I can try. Yeah, I know, but I can try, because the citizens, you know, we still live there, you know. That be given back to the citizens that relies in that area. Half of that building. And the other half, so it can go to the divisional reason that building was built was for the community center and for at-risk youth. There were some other people that decided to make it his way So we can't go in the building. So I'm gonna try to make it officially. I'm making demand from the citizens to make it legally, whatever you want to do, and then you get an answer. Please make that. Secondly, this argument of that much time of citizens moving out, being displaced. What's that word? I forgot the word already. What's that word? You move black people out of their area? When you move black people out of their homes?
Gentrification. Gentrification.
Gentrification.
Yeah.
Gentrification. All under guise of redevelopment. Okay. It's fine, but redevelopment's fine. But not when you got to move the whole town out of town. There's another motive behind moving all the blacks out of Fourth Ward. You know that, don't you? There's another element moving along that's moving all the black votes out of the Fourth Ward. I want you guys to know, I want to sit up here and embarrass nobody, but you know why they moving all the black votes out of the Fourth Ward. And they moving all the people that you guys are Democrats, they moving down to New Brunswick. They moving everybody out of Franklin Township, New Brunswick. And thank you, by one time, you gave the inner citizens, the poor little guys in the neighborhood, in the hood, a job. They still talk about how wonderful they had working for the township. It's too bad you guys can't do that again. You know, we live here in Franklin Township just like you do. We've been here before you got here. At least you can do is take care of us. Anytime you got a little kid to learn to buy chess and he got to pay $176 at your youth center to learn how to be chess. Anytime you got kids who want to play basketball and he got to pay $64 before he can join the basketball. Anytime you got little black kids, you got to pay $176 to join a courting.
The gentleman's time has expired.
Yeah, I got you, Mayor. It's a shame that you've been part of that. And that's what you're doing to the black community in Franklin Township in the Fourth Ward. Thank you very much.
Benjamin Guy, 35 Patton Drive. Just wanted to go over two things real quick. One is just an announcement for a program. But there's supposed to be a program that's supposed to be launching off next month that you guys are involved with, which is a civil construction program that you're going to be doing for adults, that you got a partnership with the Board of Ed and also Somerset Community Action Program. So that program is supposed to be starting in March of next month altogether. First cohort will be starting right now. Next week?
March 3rd, next Monday.
I don't have the date. Well, I do have the date in front of me. Sorry about that. So just for the public to announce for it, I'm probably stealing Mrs. Francois' thunder, but just to have it on record altogether, it's pretty much a civil construction program. Is designed to teach individuals the basis of general construction. The core training consists of basic safety, job sites, construction math, hand tools, power tools, blueprint reading, basic communication skills, and basic employment skills and material handling skills. Also, there will be probably added into CPR and first aid certifications that will actually be involved. This is for Franklin Township residents. People that are interested can go to the Somerset Community Action Program to actually sign up for it, or they can call 732, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to do this, but 732-846-8888, just for more information at all. This will be actually held at the Franklin Township Board of Education building on Route 27. This will be stipend and actually child care services for people that work or need anything else will actually be provided also if they're eligible. And transportation can be also provided for individuals. Anybody over 18 and that's a resident of Franklin Township is suggested to sign up for this program. This will be the first of the cohorts that are there. All right. Second question I got is in reference to, I think Ms. Francois is going to probably take care of this next month. I know the youth center is supposed to get an award, I think this week at all in Atlantic City, or tonight. Sorry about that. So I just want to make sure that that's on the agenda so that the public is aware of that going forward at all. So that's one thing. Also, Mr. Von Lucker, I think you'll be doing this over the next probably month or so. I know it's budget season because the state budget started coming out. So state budget submissions and I guess the county budget submissions will probably, the city budget will probably start being looked at also. So I just want to make sure that the public's aware of those type of things also, so that they're aware of certain things that's going on. Last portion I got, because I'm still a little lost with this one, but I know we're doing an affordable housing assessment, and I know you started having meetings. I just want to know publicly if the township can actually just say who's part of this subcommittee that's going to actually do the assessments, because I know the assessment is due, I think, in the end of April at all, I think, or something like that. I'm not sure. Y'all guys are qualified because you're like, correct me after I leave, so it's fine. But again, I just want to know who's on the subcommittee for that, just so that people, if they have questions and they see you in public, they can ask you questions about it, because it's a vital time for a lot of people. A lot of your terms will probably end by the time this is actually placed. And for you actually involved in changing the dynamics in the community, it's really vital that people get involved with this type of appropriations. Because as we move forward and we grow as a township, we change the demographics. We change the demographics a lot here. Even Mr. Volunker probably knows this best. Over the last probably 10 years since we've done this, we've changed a lot. All right? In the last 20 years that we've done this, we've changed a lot. So again, this is a vital, crucial piece that's going to change the demographics for our town for the next 10 years at all. So again, these are things that we need to be involved with a little bit more. So publicly, I just ask this to be a little bit more transparent, because this is a vital, crucial piece, and a lot of people's tenures will probably end by the time this actually gets placed in. Because I think we're roughly in the paper recorded, we'll probably be doing about maybe between 460 to 600 units that we're actually going to be placed in, give or take what the state accepts us to do for our town, which will affect us for people that want to be residents long term here. So that is my time at this specific time frame to actually do it, and I'll move on from here. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak?
Seeing no one come forward, Mayor, I'll motion to close the public portion.
Second?
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Public portion is closed. Answers to the public. First, I'd like to thank the three of you for coming in and actually putting in front of us the Superfund Act, the Climate Superfund Act. It's on the consent agenda because of you. So thank you for letting us know about it. At least let me know about it. Maybe others knew about it beforehand. To Mrs. Peterson, essentially she just made a maintenance complaint, and so I hope someone will look at the. Okay, and can someone look at a road to see if it's appropriate for no idling signs?
Sure.
Great. Doc Cunningham, thank you. Where is he? Oh, there he is. He taught me some history I didn't know. I bet there's a lot more you can teach me. I'll leave the others for others to comment on. Anyone else wish to comment?
Mayor, I just want to add back to our three persons that brought up the Superfund account. Thank you so much for bringing it to our notice. I think this is where we have that community building. We sit here, but we want to make sure we're brainstorming with you guys as well. If we're missing anything that's happening, if there's something that we can partner with you guys. So thank you for bringing it. Linda always can count on you guys. So thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I want to say thank you, because, you know, the other thing is you never take anything for granted. And in the decades you've been coming to these meetings, a lot of people just say, okay, we kind of got it done. Thank you for seeing it through to the end. And sometimes we can't always act on it because they have to be tweaked. We have to look at it. Most of what you bring us is wonderful. You know, it's a great, we've been able to accomplish a lot. Thank you.
Mayor, I just have a comment on the
Yes, sir.
cannabis business.
Please.
I've got a couple of calls similar to the gentleman today here. Unfortunately, when we made the ordinance, that at the time of the ordinance, anybody who had gotten the preliminary or the final approvals would be eligible to open the shop. Unfortunately, his situation, as well as the others that have called me, we had to tell them that the ordinance stands as it is, and they're not able to open new shops in town. So that's, unless the council decides otherwise, we would not be able to accommodate that request.
Correct.
I want to add on to that, but I also thought that we put a cap of 18, and if there were some that went out of business, then we would keep that pipeline open, and we would allow new ones to come in.
It's actually more than 18. Once everything was finalized with this ordinance amendment, the State of New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Commission indicated that there were 23 licenses that had been issued for Franklin Township. So those licenses were issued, and those businesses, by your ordinance, will be allowed to open. And certainly, there's a thought that if one of those license holders were to go out of business, then there would be the opportunity for someone else to come in. But there's just, and I think that we talked a lot about this particular topic before this ordinance amendment was passed. We have more cannabis licenses in Franklin Township than I believe any other municipality in the state of New Jersey, to include large municipalities like Jersey City, Newark, and the like. So, the idea behind the cannabis legislation initially, and the manner in which cannabis licenses were to be distributed, was that no one particular municipality would shoulder the burden of all, and others would shoulder none. And what really has happened here, and why you took the action that you did, was because it became apparent that we were beginning to shoulder the burden of what was beyond what was our share.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
Mr. Mayor,
the folks that came here tonight, it sounded to me like they had gotten the approval, a letter from us way back when.
They got a letter before the state.
The state was kept coming back and forth.
And the state also indicated to us, and all through the process, that the number of licenses would be extremely limited per municipality, and the state did not hold true to their word and continued to issue licenses in Franklin Township far and above what anyone had originally anticipated. We had anticipated probably a maximum of 8 licenses to be issued for the entire township. And like I said, 23 have been issued to date. That's far more than 8.
That's a lot.
Dr. Karazi?
No, I was just going to get a little bit of clarification. So the ordinance says 18. So if...
No, the ordinance says, or any licenses issued at the time the ordinance is passed. And that's the number that were issued at the time.
So if any of them decides not to open, or their license is invalidated or expires, we're still not going to replace that until we go below 18?
Below 18.
Okay. Just want to make sure that's clear.
Yes.
Anyone else want to?
I just want to comment on Mr. Tibbs. He was a huge proponent and has been very, very actively involved in SCAP for many, many years. One of the original founders. I know you've been back when SCAP first started 50 years ago, and you've been a community activist all these years. And because of you, you've also been a community activist of us getting that youth center. You put a lot of time and effort coming here, talking about the youth and what the youth need. And so we put that youth center at 429 Lewis Street. Now you're coming back and you're saying you don't want that there. You want something different. We put it From what I heard, you want the top floor to be, for the community.
Mr. Tibbs,
The
this is
youth
not
center,
time for you to comment.
It's my turn to speak. The youth center is for the youth, and that's the way we built it for the youth, to have community events there. And then some of the comments you made about what we're charging for different activities there is not correct. But you and I can talk. I think you've been somewhat misinformed about what's going on over there.
Mr. Tibbs, this is not public speaking time. Does anyone else on council wish to speak? You're not on council.
I know.
Well,
I'm waiting for
we
you.
need to also.
That's what I want to talk about Ben's
affordable
questions,
housing,
and that's what I want to give him the
who's on
answers.
the committees.
So now.
Okay, great. So to Mr. Guy's questions about the affordable housing committees that are evaluating. So the deadline for our affordable housing plan, which is a component of the master plan. So it is also a function of the planning board. So the state has given us a deadline of June 30th. So the report, the plan, which is in some ways a living plan, that plan over the course on the third round was amended on multiple occasions to make changes to how we were going to satisfy our obligation. And I'm quite certain that over the 10 years that this round will last, that there will probably be amendments to the plan as it moves forward as well. But the committee is comprised of 4 members. There's an ad hoc committee that's comprised of 4 members of council and 4 members of the planning board, as well as staff members, Mr. Dominack, Mr. Healy, myself. And those meetings there's already been 3 meetings now, I guess, so far. Well, we have 2. No, because the other committee is the land use committee, Councilman. So there have been now 3 meetings held so far between the land use committee and the ad hoc affordable housing committee. There's another meeting scheduled for this Thursday. And as we move through it, the other thing is there's a period of time for which developers can object to what we have proposed is the correct obligation number for future obligation, where that was 714, and we've done a vacant land analysis that proved that the vacant land as provided by the state was incorrect, and the new number is 623. Once that period is done, the committee will continue to meet as we've met so far and discussed what particular locations will be considered as part of the plan, what proposed developments, what developments funded through the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, all of those things. And then there will be at least one public meeting of the planning board where there will be the opportunity for public input, as is the case for all master plan amendments, which is what this is, as a new component of our affordable housing plan, and then a meeting of the council. All of that has to be orchestrated so that the planning board has their meeting in ample time to refer the affordable housing plan to council so that council can have it adopted by June 30th. So that's the makeup of the people currently considering it in-house, council members and planning board members. Both the land use committee and the ad hoc committee that this council created a few meetings ago, and then the planning board also created an ad hoc of their own. Okay? Okay. And that's it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Can I have 30 seconds?
Is this something appropriate for council comments, or are you answering a question?
Oh, no. Council comments. Just a real quick thing.
We're there.
Before you do council comments, I still want to add on to what Mr. Von Locker said. So the 4 members of council, to be transparent, because we're not doing anything behind closed doors where there's super secret going on here. This is public land. This is a public ordinance. So the 4 members of council that are on the ad hoc committee is myself, Councilwoman Sheepa Udine, Councilman Charles Onyejaka, and Councilman Jim Vasanella. The people that are on the Land Use Committee, I believe, are the mayor, Councilman Rom, Councilmember Ed, and Councilman Carl, right?
Right. And then the planning board ad hoc committee is Chairman Orsini, Mr. LaCourte, Dr. Chase, and Mrs. Rafiq.
Okay. So now you know.
I had one quick question. Well, no, summation. Mr. Guy mentioned he sent this little email out, and it basically, in my opinion, called some people liars because we didn't know what we were talking about. And that's not good, especially when you say that we don't understand what we're doing. But in actuality, Mr. Guy, you don't a damn thing. Because, see, what you did was you made everybody up here talk about it. And that's what we're going to do for you right now, to explain it to you, to educate you on it. Now, you mentioned that 268 that you said that we didn't do. Well, that 268, my friend, it comes down to this. A friend of mine's father needed some stairs done. But he was in the percentage of, what do you call that, Mr. Vornlocker, that he fits that social stratus, the economic.
So when you're in lower moderate income?
Right. And what happened is the township went in, he made an application. The township went in and said, yes, Mr. Roberts, you do need this done. You fit the qualifications. Get a contractor, and we'll pay for it. And we did, with the stipulation that when the house changes hands, we get our money back. I believe it's interest-free?
It is, yes.
Interest-free. So that's an ongoing process that happens every year. So that number, you can just put that number aside. And Mr. Hilly, because I'm on the redevelopment agency here in Franklin Township and the Land Use Committee, which means I get 2 bites at the apple. 2. That number, 714, that you put down on your paper, he actually went out there and bullet holed that thing down. He went everywhere. The township manager said to you at the last meeting that you were here that land was open space, land was farmland, land was wetlands. So he drilled it down. But you still said that we was wrong. And I'm here to tell you, no. As far as the redevelopment agency is concerned, and he presented it to us with facts, with data, no. You're wrong. So the next time you want to come up and throw some arrows at people, make sure you got it right, dude. Now, I ain't saying you need to apologize to anybody, because you won't. No, you won't. And at least to me, because you always come to the meeting and want to pick on me, but that's besides the point. The next time you want to come in and throw some arrows, make sure you know what you're talking about, dude. Because I don't think we need to sit up here and listen to this garbage. Okay? I know. But I sit here now.
Ben, go.
Ben, no. Mr. Guy, no.
It's not the way a public meeting works.
But I'm just correcting the facts. So that we miss on record.
Okay, so I make a motion, we move on to council comments.
Thank you.
I don't think I need to second that. You don't need a motion. It was more I don't think we need to second that.
I'm not even going to ask for a second.
No, I know.
Or we're all in favor.
We're all in favor.
Council comments. Mr. Wright, would you have anything to say?
Now, why do you want to start that now? You want to come down here to me. The underground experience. My daughter is a high school history teacher here in Franklin Township, went to the school and everything like that, and she's now a history teacher here, freshman. She went and took her 3 little kids with her, my grandkids, and said it was an outstanding and informative session. Now, my daughter, Dr. down at Tennessee State Historical Black College, she attained 2 degrees, one in history and one in black history. So when she went to the experience, she said, hey, Pop, I learned all this good stuff, but some people don't know it. And with her group, there were people that were enlightened as to what actually happened during that period of time, periods of time, I should say. So I wasn't able to go because, being a funeral director, had to go to work. She said, maybe we should do a little bit more. Maybe people should come in, and we have people come in and explain a little bit more as to what happened on that slave trade and the inner passage. Maybe we could explain more of how we became who we are. That is important. And she said after that, it was definitely a beautiful affair, as it were. Something else I have for you, Mr. Mayor, but I just got thrown off my track because I didn't want to hear that. And I apologize to all my fellow council members about what I just did, but I just didn't like us being beat up. I'm sorry. I just didn't like that at all. Especially our township manager who does yeoman work, Mark Healy, who does absolutely outstanding work. So, that's it.
Thank you. Councilmember Potasnik.
Just briefly, on Friday at 5:30, we're going to be having a Pride 2025 planning session. So anyone who's interested in finding out more, please send me an email available on the website if you'd like to attend.
Where will it be?
We're still working on a location, so that's why.
No, actually, you need to check your email. I believe that the room has been reserved for you. It will be in the large conference room here in the municipal building.
It'll be at the large conference room here. I did check before the meeting started.
Maybe she didn't send it to you. She reserved the room for it.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. But if you're interested, let me know, just so I can make sure we have the right size room and the right amount of snacks. It'll be one of many meetings, so if you missed this one, you can't attend, and you're interested, please do feel free to come. We're going to need a lot of help, and I think we're seeing particular parts of the LGBT plus community being targeted right now by a number of individuals. So it's a time to stand in solidarity and celebrate the progress, but also reflect on the work we have left to do. So it's open to allies and members of the community as well. Thanks.
It's my turn to say something.
Mm-hmm.
Councilman Vasanella.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a few things to report out on tonight. First of all, before I forget, Doc Cunningham, your tenacity and your sincerity is refreshing, and I look forward to when a full program somewhere in town can be led by you. Moving along, they're all gone, but I echo the Mayor's word from before. I feel very safe in this town. I feel very blessed to have the first responders that we have here, all of them, especially our police, who obviously have a very dangerous job. And that being said, I'm going to have to repeat, 49 new officers in 5 years. I knew we had a lot. That's monumental. I'm going to dare say, Bob might jump in and interrupt me here, but that's probably the most turnover we've ever had. And to do it in a way that, as far as I'm concerned, was relatively seamless, speaks volumes about the quality of the officers and the quality of our administration over there. And I'll leave it at that. Thank you. I have a couple more readouts on some meetings and some of the issues that were brought up tonight. First of all, I don't know what the communication is. I see Mr. Guy left anyway, and Councilman Wright. But I was at the meeting, the Affordable Housing Committee meeting, and I'm going to just give a little bit of information about that. First of all, I'm going to say right now, we can't be talking about specifics and details. What I can of the different projects that we may utilize to fulfill our requirement. What I can say is we have, what I saw was a blessing of options laid out in front of us that we may be able to build and build all of the affordable housing we are required to, and maybe even then some, without having to build other things in places that we probably don't need or want just to achieve our fair share responsibility. In other words, we really have more options than we've ever had before. And we're not being secretive. Like they said, we're being transparent. This is probably going to be the most transparent community-involved program ever because we have more options. And it's still going to be rough, and it's still going to cost money, and there's going to be a lot of negotiations and changes and tweaks. So I don't know where Mr. Guy gets information from, but like the manager said, things evolve. I could tell you from being involved with 3 of these and literally studying this since the Mount Laurel that started all this back 40-some years ago, that I feel much better about this round than ever before. And I can't speak for others, but I hope I have the opportunity for the next several years, because the next few years is going to be vital, because that's when we negotiate, and that's when we work with builders, and that's when we find the special needs within affordable housing, type of housing that really can affect people, not just with financial needs, but other, whether it's disabled or veterans or elderly, whatever. So I'm really excited. And again, this will be a transparent process, and as soon as we can, not only will we tell you about those options, we'll probably have a public presentation or a few that will really hopefully engage this public in a more positive way than we ever have with affordable housing. And I hope, heck, I'm able to use my experience to see this through the next several years. I think we are blessed in that area. Real quick, that's all affordable housing. In a perfect society, we wouldn't need groups, and I wish we didn't, like the Stigma-Free Council. But we are all flawed, including every single one of us up here, and everyone out there. Thank you, Mayor. Some issues that people have require special assistance, and not going to go into the whole mission, but I was blessed to arrive. I couldn't get to the whole thing, but I've read about it, and I went to the Stigma-Free Council meeting, and the part of it that I saw, let me tell you, if their work hasn't already saved lives, it definitely will be saving lives going forward. And we'll never know who, what, when, and where, but their work is is something we need to have in this town, and I think we're blessed to have that. So I hope to be, in any way possible, help them advance their mission. So that's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Francois.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you all for being so supportive of the New Jersey Climate Super Fund Act that we're going to pass tonight. You guys have been wonderful over the years. We need more citizens like you that have the tenacity and the perseverance to bring things to us, to hold us accountable as well. So we appreciate all that you do. And the other thing I wanted to say, it was very nice to see the blue wall in the back and the swearings, and it did my heart good to see that Franklin Finest continues to be better and better and better every year in the work that they do for us to keep us all safe. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Rahman Darrison.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, congratulations to the new officers and the promoted sergeants and the lieutenants and the captains. As you heard, many of them, or most of them, that got promoted have been here for 2 decades, 3 decades, not 3 decades, 2 decades plus. And so this is a place that officers can come and build their careers until they are ready to retire, like Captain Hebben did a couple of meetings ago. So we welcome all the new officers and convey our best wishes to them, as well as to the promoted officers. Along that line, we just had a public safety committee meeting this evening. A few exciting initiatives happening, but I can't talk about it. Not yet, at least. But what I can talk about is the wonderful work that the Community Relations Bureau is doing for the township. every first Wednesday of every month, there is a food distribution at the First Baptist Church. Our CRB has been doing it for a number of years to benefit who those and are in need of food. That's one. And then there's an event on the 23rd at Colonial Park and the surrounding streets, that's at Garden State Track Club 10-miler. So the surrounding streets, Western Road, Western Canal, and Elizabeth and Amwell and Metlers, there'll be some traffic restrictions. So be aware of that on the 23rd March. And then the Read Across America program is going to be happening on March 3rd at the elementary schools in town. The CRB will be coordinating those Read Across programs with the schools directly. And that's all about the public safety meeting. The Black History Month program, there were two events actually. The one my colleague, Councilman Wright, spoke about. I have a big shout out to Mohammed Jallo, son of our county surrogate. What a talented young man. He wrote the whole program, the Underground Experiment, and he selected the authors, he trained them, directed them, choreographed them at the Senior Center. That was a very nice surprise. We were there with my colleague here, Councilman Karazi. We really enjoyed and we learned a lot about Black history, and that was very appropriate, and he has written books, I hear. What a great talent, and I wish he would do more of those programs so we can all learn and benefit from the history and the culture and the Black heritage. Great job, Mohammed Jallo. And then there was another Black History Month celebration last weekend. I briefly attended that after the International Mother Language Day celebration that brought a lot of kids, and Deputy Mayor Odin recognized that organizers. Great program. I mean, these are kids from all cultures, different countries, different religion. They come and speak on their native languages. It was wonderful to be there and hear. Some of them are Indian languages that I happen to know. Oh, by the way, English is my second language. My mother tongue is Tamil. So it was a great program, and this is what is good about Franklin. We have so diverse, so many cultures, so many different countries and languages spoken here, and we celebrate it in the township, and we welcome those kind of programs all the time. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Onichaka.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. That was Thursday, yes. I was privileged to attend the Ramadan lightning ceremony that we held on Saturday. Was it Saturday?
Yeah.
Yes.
I forgot.
Yes, so Saturday. Yeah. The occasion was heavily attended, and it shows the diversity we have in Franklin and the freedom of worship we have here. A lot of people came. They served good foods, and it was good and enjoyable. I want to use this opportunity to congratulate our police department. Tonight shows the efficiency and the safety net we have in Franklin. It's very, very commendable. This guarantees that our security is very, very tight in Franklin. Thank you, Mayor. That's what I have.
Thank you, Councilman Karazi.
Good evening, everyone. I will start by echoing my colleagues about congratulating our new officers and those that they promoted. So this past sunny Sunday, a few members of the Trail Committee and I, which I'm the council liaison, we took 2.5 hours of walk through a large wooded open space, which is located on County Route 518. And this open space does not have any trail, and the objective of our walk was to see if there is an opportunity to add some trails to that portion of our beautiful township. We took some pictures and some notes, and we will be discussing during our next meeting, which is going to be on March 12th. And last couple of weeks, we had a few community events. My colleague, Councilman Ambrasen, mentioned about the Black history and the walkthrough history in recognition of the Black History Month was really an amazing and very powerful production. And I congratulate also Muhammad Jallo for doing that. And in fact, when he was speaking as Martin Luther King, I really thought that is Martin Luther King. His voice was just amazing, similar to what Dr. King was. So it's just a beautiful thing he did. And we also had the 5th annual Ramadan Lighting, which was held this past Sunday and was organized by Deputy Mayor Shipoddin with the help of many volunteers. And again, they did a fantastic job. And by the way, Ramadan officially will start on March 1st. And I'd like to take the opportunity to congratulate to the Muslim community who live in our township. And they will be engaged in month-long of fasting, prayers, reflection, community service, and acts of charity. We also attended, myself and along with Councilman Ambrasen, attended the executive committee meeting of YMCA as part of an ongoing support to pave the way for building a Y in our township. I guess we heard about the budgeting. Yes, it's the time for budgeting, as several of us, along with our township manager, we are having meetings to discuss the budgeting as well. We have two meetings that is coming up. One is the Human Relations Commission meeting, which is going to be tomorrow, starting at 7 p.m. and will be held across the hall in the large conference room. And we will have a guest speaker who's going to be the interim high school principal, Ms. Kelly Guerrero, and we will also introduce the newly approved commissioner. The next meeting is the meeting of Advisory Board of Health meeting, which is going to be on Wednesday, March 5th. Again, in this building, starting at 7:30. It will be at the large conference room. And we have guest speakers who are representative from Zufall Health and Dr. Ravali, John Ravali, our superintendent of schools, also will be there. And they will be discussing the expanded health services in Franklin Township. And we will also introduce 4 new approved members that they joined us. And I'm really pleased to see that for the first time in years, we have full membership in the Advisory Board of Health. So please come to these meetings, and we appreciate everybody that they can attend. Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Udine.
Thank you. Good evening. I think many of my updates have been already stated, so I'll try to keep it as short for my updates. I was just actually checking the Purple Air device tracker online, and it shows that we're at the air quality is little or no risk, which is good. So we had ordered these, I believe, last year. Yeah. The devices. So looking at them on and off just to keep track of our air pollution. I know there's been a lot of discussion around that. So looks good so far. We're good. So the affordable housing meeting we had, I think Councilman Vasanella, Township Manager, has mentioned the minutes, and we'll get to providing more insights so that as we have information. I think we're still vetting the layout, et cetera. So I think it's too early to provide information on that. We're still going through information, but it's great information. So you'll learn as we get to provide through the public sessions and answer some of those questions that you may have. But I think they're going to be, it's looking good. So more to come from there. Fire prevention, there's nothing to report there. We're looking at some of the, they're looking at changing some of the devices, so that's being worked on right now. International Mother Language Day, and we had a couple events back to back this weekend. International Mother Language Day, Black History Day, and then Welcome Ramadan. I think one of the things that I reflected, at least between all these three events is we had a lot of law enforcement that attended those events, our local cops. And what I saw from our community, the positive feedback was just like that community relation building. We had our interfaith community come out for the Ramadan ceremony. Again, it's the positive impact that we're having with our community. I think that partnership, that collaboration, it shows when we're all together and uniting for different events. And it's just very nice to see that. Like I said, the three events throughout last weekend, and it showed pretty nice solidarity amongst everyone. Some upcoming webinars that I think are going to be very interesting, and some of the things that I'm also hosting, I'll give more information as we have them down this spring, working with the FBI on some scam and fraud, bringing that to town, some educational information. Also partnering with our assemblyman on some Anchor State New Jersey programs. So that's going to also come out soon. We'll give more details as we're building those flyers. And then some other upcoming thing is we're going to have Eastern Ave quarter study. So that's also upcoming. So just a lot of stuff that's happening. We will get you guys more transparent as the dates start getting fixed, and you will hear about those through our website, or through one of us through this council meeting. So just stay tuned for information. That's all I had, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. For my comments, the stigma-free program is a very important program. I went to their first meeting. I was unable to attend this next one, so I'm glad Councilman Vasanella was there. He's shown quite a bit of interest in it. Now, the stigma-free organization was not formed by ordinance. It kind of developed on its own, so it's not constrained in the ways that committees that are formed by ordinance are. So I would like to nominate without exception Jim Vasanella, or appoint without exception Jim Vasanella to be the liaison to the Stigma-Free Council, because he's really shown an interest in it, and it is important.
I'd be honored, Mayor.
So if they're without objection, so it is.
Thank you.
I want to again extend my thanks to our police force and all they do. As it's down at a personal, selfish level, as mayor, you worry about things like that. I don't have to worry about that. Not that nothing could possibly happen, but I know that they're well-trained, well-disciplined, and all have their hearts in the right place. There was a financial oversight meeting last night. We've got some challenges. We talked about healthcare. One thing I can report is our fund balance, sometimes referred to as our surplus, but surplus on the federal level means how much extra money you have each year. This is essentially the money we have in the bank, and we have a fairly large one compared to most towns, and that gave us a lot of freedom, like during the pandemic, when they wanted to delay collecting taxes for a month to help people catch up. That was no big deal for us. Some towns had to take out bridging loans in order to do that. So it also gives us a high bond rating because we have that much money. So it was at 23 million at the beginning of last year, and it's basically at 21.5 million. So it's gone down a little bit. We wouldn't want it to go less than 20. So we have to be very careful so that we don't push it down. I'd like to keep it a little bit above 20. So that constrains us. We've got other constraints such as health care, which we discussed quite a bit last night. And we'll be coming out with a budget relatively soon. That's all I have, Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just one upcoming event to report on, and then I just wanted to touch a little bit more on affordable housing before we call it a night. The event is the Hamilton Street Safety Improvements Study that is underway, funded by the Federal Highway Administration and the North Jersey Transportation Planning Authority. There was a public information center that was scheduled in this room back a couple weeks ago, and it got snowed on, and it had to be postponed. So the new date is Wednesday, March 12th, here in this room. It will be from 5:30 to 7:30, and it is in a way an open house on the project's progress thus far. But also at 6:30 that evening, there will be a presentation made by the consulting firm and engineers. So if you're interested in that safety project, it's the Hamilton Street project, which runs from the Township corporate line with New Brunswick all the way to Vanderbilt, which is one of the side streets that goes into the middle school, the old high school. If you're interested, there's information on our website. It's in the news on the main homepage. Anyone who has an interest in Hamilton Street is encouraged to attend. So the other thing I just wanted to touch on, we talk about a lot about round obligations and the like. So our third round obligation was 2,076 affordable units. And our plan to meet our third round obligations was 2,162. So we had a buffer or a planned surplus of 86 units. Of those 86 units surplus, 67 were not built for whatever reason. The developer chose not to build their project, which leaves us with a current remaining surplus of 19. Now, there are still 130 units to be built as part of the redevelopment plans, and there are redevelopment agreements with those redevelopers to continue those. That's just a phased development in the redevelopment area, and they'll be built as we move forward to the future. But what that really means in total is that out of our obligation of 2,076, we actually have 1,965 built and occupied, which, we've talked with professionals in this business. That's kind of a number that's unheard of in the state of New Jersey. That's 95% of our third round have not only were proposed, but were built and are occupied, which is a number that all of you up here should be proud of. Some of you were here right around the time that the third round began, 1999. But some of you, I think Kimberly was just about finishing her first stint on council at that time. Mm-hmm. And so the third round got extended for a number of legal reasons, and that's why we're just beginning our 10-year round now, with the third round having been now 26 years ago. But it's something that we banner back and forth about meeting obligations, but that's a significant number that the public should hear. Mm-hmm. 2,000 affordable housing units were built and occupied in our third round. And if you read the newspaper and you look at what other municipalities are dealing with right now, many in our area didn't meet their obligation at all.
And I think that's a story that should be on our website, since there's
and so there is going. So Mark Healy, he's a busy man these days, is putting together a frequently asked questions and maps to be put on our website to better explain the affordable housing process. So yes, I agree.
Good.
And that's the end of my report, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, I'll add to that. I get emails from mayors around the state saying, please join us in our lawsuit against the state to get rid of these affordable housing obligations. I've not signed up.
No.
And Mayor, just to add to what the manager said, I'm on the Board of Trustees of the nonprofit that manages a good portion of it, and for over a decade, they're like, how do you guys do this? Or when they talk about an example of what works, they reference Franklin, and they don't do it to flatter me, believe me. We are the shining example of how to handle it, especially for a town our size. I just wanted to add that, and I think Councilwoman Francois, you're right. We should wave that flag and let people know. It doesn't mean we're doing it perfect, but we're doing it darn near perfect.
And we have affordable housing all over Franklin Township.
Oh, it's. I was going to say an educational session for people to understand not only what we're going to do going forward, but what we have done, and really get a visual. Well, we don't have to go into it now, but I think that history should be a part of that presentation.
And that'll be another thing that's a part of that frequently asked questions, but it'll also be part of the meetings, the public meetings going forward when we get to that point in the plan process.
Okay.
Education as you go along.
Before we break our arms patting ourselves on the back, it is time for the 2025 Community Development Block Grant Program.
I'll just know we're an hour and a half in.
Which, by the way, Mayor, also plays a part in affordable housing.
You couldn't leave it alone.
No, well, I'm just saying, it does in fact play a part in affordable housing because it's through the CDBG grant money that much of that housing rehabilitation takes place.
Yes,
I mean, so.
What a wonderful segue.
Perfect. Perfect, since I'm here to talk about the next 5 years. If we're lucky.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, if we're lucky. By the way, the Township of Franklin, with that Community Development Block Grant money, I took a quick look. Since this program has been instituted, it has done over 106 units of rehabilitation, single-family home rehabilitations for township residents.
That's good.
So, yeah, we did. We're doing well.
Good.
Okay. Just for edification of those who don't know anything about the program, the township is a recipient of Community Development Block Grant funds from the Department of Housing and Urban Development. We received that fund from the government because the township has a population that exceeds 50,000 people. And we have 4 census tracts in which 51% of the households earn less than 80% of the area median. In 2024 dollars for Franklin Township, the median income is $118,034. In accordance with our citizen participation plan, we're required to conduct at least 2 public hearings during the plan year. But during the submission of the consolidated plan, we're also required to add additional community meetings, community surveys, and the like, so that we expand public participation in the process as we develop our 5-year plan. To that end, we will have 2 community meetings, locations to be determined, April 2nd and the 16th. Those would not be formal council meetings. It would just be community input meetings. And a final public hearing is tentatively set for June 24th. That is provided that we get funded this year. And as soon as I'll know, you will, I will get that information to you. We are also posting the online community survey. It will be up on the website on March the 1st. I would appreciate it, council members, if you would participate in the survey this year, and anybody else you can think of, so that we can get a good handful of surveys back. Usually the responses are limited, but I would hope that I can get at least 50 this time. And I believe that's it for me. I'll keep it simple. Everything else is posted on the website. Applications are posted on the website. They're in PDF form. They're in, you can do the application right online for organizations that are interested in participating. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
Mayor, I have a question.
Yes.
So in the past, when were we notified of the monies that were needed to be appropriated? What time frame? Was it in March sometime?
It won't be March this year.
Yeah, I know, but in the past.
Sometimes it's March, sometimes it's April.
Okay.
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 If they do a continuing resolution and they include funding for it, then we'll have that, but no one knows what's going to happen
Okay.
at this point.
All right, thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. So it's now appropriate to have a public hearing on the Community Development Block Grant. Do I have a motion to open to the public?
So moved.
Seconded.
Been seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion is carried. We are now open to the public on this matter only. Same rules.
Seeing no one come forward, I make a motion to close.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion is carried. Public session is closed. We're on to council discussion items. We have none. Approval of the minutes. Township Council Reorganization Work Session Regular Meeting of January 7th, 2025, and the Work Session Regular Meeting of January 28th, 2025. Do I have a motion on the minutes?
So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Anyone would like to change, edit? Not since Ted Chase was on council. Madam Clerk.
Councilman Embarrasson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois?
Yes.
Councilman Karazi?
Yes.
Mayor Kramer?
Yes.
Councilman Onijaka?
Yes.
Councilmember Potosnik?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dean?
Yes.
Councilman Vasanella?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
Yes.
Time to pay the bills. Warrants in the amount of $26,461,033.11. February 25th, 2025 are presented to the Township Council for payment. Do we have a motion
I
on
move
the
that the
warrants?
warrants as read be paid.
I second that.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Anyone would like to pull an item? Madam Clerk.
Councilman Embarrasson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois?
Yes.
Councilman Karazi?
Yes.
Mayor Kramer?
Yes.
Councilman Onijaka?
Yes.
Councilmember Potosnik?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dean? Councilman Vasanella?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
Yes.
No ordinances on first or second reading. Government at its finest, doing nothing. Consent agenda. Items A through K is listed on the consent agenda portion of this meeting are presented to the Township Council for adoption. Do we have a motion on the consent agenda?
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Anyone like to pull an item, discuss an item?
Mayor?
Yes, sir.
If it's appropriate, I'll leave up to manager, but maybe you can expound a little bit on I and how that may help some of the issues we're battling in town. If that believes it's not appropriate, we don't need to.
No, it's fine. There are certain municipal ordinance violation cases that demand a little bit more time than the municipal prosecutor has time for, and we routinely assign them to the legal team of Rainone, Coughlin, and Mincello, and they are township attorneys, obviously. And in this particular case, now the Administrative Office of the Courts has asked that this governing body adopt a resolution just indicating that.
So this may help us solve some of these issues with the
Right. We are already doing it. Like I said, this has already been done. This is now the state court saying we would like the governing body to adopt a resolution formalizing it. That's all.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Any other items? Madam Clerk.
Councilman Embarrasson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois?
Yes.
Councilman Karazi?
Yes.
Mayor Kramer?
Yes.
Councilman Onijaka?
Yes.
Councilmember Potosnik?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Dean?
Yes.
Councilman Vasanella?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
Yes.
There are no resolutions to be voted on separately. Old business boards, committees, commissions. Does anyone have a nomination? Hearing none, I'll just read off where there are openings. Advisory Rec Council, Cultural Arts Council, Hamilton Street Advisory Board, Housing Authority, Redevelopment Agency, Senior Citizen Advisory Committee, and the Trails Committee. We have an executive session. Resolution 25097, authorized executive session, potential land acquisition. I'm going to butcher this. Gouda El Kababti property at 360 Franklin Boulevard, and the Negri Farm LLC at 408 Skillman Lane is presented to the Township Council for adoption. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved. Seconded.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion is carried. So we're now going to go into executive session. There will be no official actions taken after the executive session, so we're going to stop taping now. The meeting is essentially adjourned.